Okay, so I'm pretty sure we all know how much stronger Dragon Ball characters have gotten over the years. With Gohan consistently regressing but then finally unlocking Beast, Vegeta with a mere power level of 18,000 to co-training with a God of Destruction, and with Goku being a little monkey boy meeting Bulma to reaching the technique of the angels. But this might raise a question. Considering the new increase in strength and the lineage of characters that have been introduced, who is currently the strongest mortal in Dragon Ball? I thought it'd be a great idea to decipher who the strongest mortals in Dragon Ball are so we don't get weird situations like this happening. Now, of course, we are limiting this to mortal beings, so we aren't going to count any angels or gods at this point of the series. And for obvious reasons, we won't include dead characters since the relevance of their strength doesn't really matter if they're, well, you know, dead. Lastly, for my own well-being, we are going to limit the characters for this list to 10 for the purpose of not having to rate useless characters like Oolong or Chaozu. Starting straight from the 10th spot, we have Oob.
Oh my god, you're putting Oob over people like Majin Buu and Android 17?
Well, yeah. From where we are in the anime and the manga, we are only 1 year away from the events that are shown at the end of Dragon Ball Z. So taking that into consideration, we really aren't far from the very first moment that Oob is introduced. As a lot of you are probably aware, Oob is the reincarnation of Kid Buu, who is able to retain access to all of the God Ki that dwelled within the previous Great Lord of Lords. So in short terms, Oob has an immense amount of potential, and I would even argue more potential than Gohan or Broly. By the time we get to the end of Dragon Ball Z, Goku is in desperate need for a new challenge. But if you think about it a little bit, why would Goku be so excited for a new rival if there's so many other people like Frieza, Vegeta, or even Merus who can threaten his power? I mean, even Vegeta is appalled at the fact that an Earthling can rival the strength of someone like Goku. And even more so, during the Moro arc, Oob is able to donate a massive amount of God Ki dwelling within inside of him to help Vegeta's fourth spirit visit. In fact, the power from Oob was so big that it was enough to push Goku from Super Saiyan Blue to perfected Ultra Instinct while unlocking a Susanoo in the process. Knowing all of these unbelievable feats about Oob, it's pretty incredible to think about how he was able to hold his ground against a much stronger Goku at the end of Dragon Ball Z. A lot of people could argue though that Oob could be placed higher on this list, but for the sake of things getting retconned and speculational purposes, I'll keep him low on this list. But moving to the next person we have on this list, we have Merus, who during the Moro arc of the Dragon Ball Super manga showed up big time. Merus is, or at least was, an angel that helped Goku completely utilize the power of Ultra Instinct. At the end of the arc though, he gets erased temporarily only to be brought back as a mortal this time and not as an angel. So in technical terms, Merus is really just a regular mortal that lives in Universe 7. While the Grand Priest did take away his angel powers, his incredible feats were impressive for both Goku and Vegeta despite not completely using them. Beyond that, he's even able to handle a lot of Goku's transformation at ease during a training session at the Galactic Patrol HQ, which is an incredible feat to consider because Goku even went to the extent of going Super Saiyan God. The overall strength of Merus though is definitely still a mystery considering he doesn't have angel powers anymore, implying that he more than likely can't use Ultra Instinct like he used to, but I think he's done enough during the Moro arc for us to consider putting him on this list. For the next spot on this list, we have Gamma 1, who debuted during Dragon Ball Super Superhero. While unfortunately we no longer have Gamma 2, Gamma 1 is still a strong contender and is said to be on the same strength level as Gamma 2. Further talking about his strength, Gamma 1 is said to be around the strength level of Goku and Vegeta in their Super Saiyan Blue form. Some could even argue that he's a contender for the strength that they had within the Moro arc. The amazing thing about Gamma 1 though is that he is completely artificial, so his ability to be reconstructed and further developed as an android is basically limitless. So around another time when we're able to see him, he could easily be just as strong as some of the strongest people that we have on this list. A beautiful accolade that Gamma 1 also possesses is that he can operate off of full power until he uses all of his power. Now this would be an issue if his battery was equivalent to an old iPhone 4 with a diminished battery, but thankfully it operates at a good enough level that even surprises Gohan. So without a doubt, Gamma 1 deserves this next spot on the list. Now before I go any further, it's important to to note that from this point, you could make an argument that all of the following characters from here to 3rd place could technically be switched, considering that Toyotaro himself stated that these next 5 characters are all equal in strength after creating this manga panel. But I think the evidence from what we visibly see from these characters within the recent arcs makes that statement a little bit contentious. But starting at number 7, we have Piccolo, who we've seen get 2 new transformations in Dragon Ball Super Superhero, being Piccolo with his potential unlocked and Orange Piccolo. These forms are actually really interesting. The potential unlocked Piccolo was actually able to go head to head with Gamma 2 for quite some time, but that was definitely short-lived because even Piccolo himself admits that his strength is not comparable to Gamma 2's. But through this transformation, Piccolo gets an orange form called Orange Piccolo, a form rewarded to him from being the creator of where this power comes from. With this form, Piccolo is able to easily manhandle Gamma 2 with ease, who, as I stated earlier, is said to be on the same strength level as Goku and Vegeta with their Super Saiyan Blue. Adding on top of that, Orange Piccolo was able to hold his ground against Cell Max for quite some time, who we can assume was slightly below the strength we see against Broly during the Broly movie, with the consideration that Toriyama said a completed Cell Max would have been someone that even Broly couldn't beat. Speaking of Broly, that would lead him to being my next pick for this list, who I would put above Orange Piccolo here due to the notable fact that we can assume that an unperfected Cell Max was probably around the strength of Broly in full power due to Toriyama's comment. I think it's also worth noting that while I do realize Gohan and Piccolo say Cell Max might have been a struggle for even Goku and Vegeta, at this point they haven't been connected with them since the Moreau arc, meaning they haven't seen how much stronger any of them have gotten since then, and they also can't sense any divine energy, so it would be hard for them to truly gauge how strong Goku and Vegeta is even if they tried. But if you disagree with that, that's fine, but considering that Broly has been doing training with Goku and Vegeta, that would widen the gap even further. In Dragon Ball Super Broly, Broly is able to show that his power is so overwhelming that it could push Goku and Vegeta to fuse into Gogeta in order to stand a remote chance. And of course, Broly treating Goku like how the Hulk manhandled Loki was always a beautiful sight to see. But after Goku's fight with Broly on Earth, he's intrigued by his power and decides to help teach him how to control it. Despite the immense amount of struggle to do so, Broly is able to retain access to his Super Saiyan state being controlled through his sparring session with Beast Gohan. And Gohan himself is appalled by this new level of strength that we see from Broly, which is a reaction we don't even get from Gohan when he's fighting against Cell Max. Broly has an immense amount of potential, so I wouldn't be surprised if some of you placed him higher on this list. For number 5, I have Vegeta, who has made pretty notable changes to increase his power. After the events of the Moreau arc, Vegeta trained with the God of Destruction Beerus, learning more in depth about the Hakai and the special technique of the gods. In learning the true nature of what it means to be a god of destruction, Vegeta is able to create a new form called Ultra Ego. This is a transformation where Vegeta gets stronger based off of his battle lust. In other words, the more damage Vegeta takes during the battle, the stronger he'll grow, which, as we all know, is the complete opposite of Ultra Instinct. When Vegeta has access to this form, he's able to quickly close the gap between him and other fighters like Granola and Gas, who, don't forget, use the Dragon Balls on planet Cereal to make themselves the strongest in the universe, meaning even Vegeta can expand his strength and potential the longer the fight continues. With this form, Vegeta's mind is solely focused on destruction, making his potential to grow limitless with a free mindset. The only issue is Vegeta's mindset itself is limited due to the guilt-ridden mindset he has from his past, further limiting his ability to utilize this transformation at its fullest potential. Even when Vegeta is fighting Granola, he apologizes to Beerus for continuously struggling with this very issue. So while it's unfortunate to say, Vegeta still has a lot to learn. Speaking of potential though, that would lead to my next pick being Gohan. I can already sense the Vegeta fans coming after me saying Gohan is stronger than him. Regardless, I would argue that Gohan has shown more strength than Vegeta in the short span of time that we've seen him recently. For starters, I think we need to rid ourselves of this mindset that Gohan was surpassed by Goku and Vegeta a long time ago. Prior to the Tournament of Power happening, Gohan was able to slightly match the strength of Goku's Super Saiyan Blue when training with him. And even if you want to argue with that, he was able to go head to head with Gamma 1 for quite some time. I would say the only reason Gohan would end up losing to Gamma 1 here is due to fatigue, where Gamma 1 can operate at full power for a longer period of time. But in Dragon Ball Super Superhero, we see Beast Gohan, a transformation that's derived from Gohan's efforts to develop himself as a human instead of a Saiyan. With this transformation, Gohan is able to effortlessly disgrace Cell Max like how my girl disgraces me. And it's through this transformation that we're able to see that Gohan has been training in secret. Also, don't forget, Piccolo himself was struggling immensely with Cell Max, who, as I stated earlier, far surpassed Goku and Vegeta with their Super Saiyan Blues. The most interesting confrontation we see with Gohan, though, is during his fight with Goku. During this spar, Gohan makes it very clear that the only way he can fully draw the power out from Beast is boosting his ki until he snaps while maintaining a certain level of control. While it does seem to work on Goku, the tactic itself doesn't seem to fully stop Goku, hence why he's able to continue fighting. But since we're on the subject of Goku, I'll just say now that he is my next pick for this list. I know, everyone's going to the comment section to type something crazy, but get out the comments for a minute, let me explain. Goku by this point is a lot further ahead with his utilization of Ultra Instinct compared to Vegeta and Gohan with their new transformations. Where Goku has been striving for Ultra Instinct since the Resurrection F movie, he gains access to it during the Tournament of Power, keeping that his main goal for the next 4 arcs after that one. Of course, Goku has perfected Ultra Instinct, allowing him to be more calm and tranquil with his self-movement, while also having Ultra Instinct Sign, where he can fight his opponents while still retaining access to his emotions as a Saiyan. While we do see him try to utilize the technique in every other form, perfected Ultra Instinct is still Goku's strongest branch of Ultra Instinct. But going back to my subject of Gohan, the biggest issue is that it's made clear in the manga that Goku wasn't fighting with the intention of beating Gohan, but more so testing to see what his new power is like to look forward to in the future. But that doesn't help Gohan's case, since considering when we look at how he treats the fight, I think it would be safe to assume that he was going all out where Goku technically wasn't. But even if you want to argue that Goku was going all out, the fight between him and Gohan never truly had a definitive climax of a winner or a loser.
But Toriyama said that Gohan was the strongest.
I don't know where people are getting this from, but it's further proving the point for what people say about Dragon Ball fans. Toriyama's description of Beast Gohan after the superhero movie doesn't really say much, but I think most people are getting that from this quote, when Toriyama is specifically saying Gohan is stronger than anyone, or so it said. But if you read the full quote from Toriyama, he's simply implying that Gohan has the potential to be stronger than everyone in the series, and that potential is manifested through Piccolo in the superhero movie. The idea of Beast Gohan potentially being the strongest is no different than when Goku told Gohan to get angry in the Buu saga like how he did against Cell. For if Gohan does get angry, no one will be able to beat him. To keep it short, Gohan will always have it within himself to be stronger than the whole cast, so long as he wants it that way though. So does this transformation have the potential to surpass a Goku or Vegeta? Of course. I just don't necessarily think it's there just yet. The debate between these two is really up for grabs though, because as I stated in the beginning, anyone could realistically argue that the last 5 characters stated could be equal in strength based on the comment we have from Toyotaro. But anyway, now moving aside from characters that are gonna get me Hadoukened in the comment section, for the second spot I have Granola. During the Granola arc, Granola wishes to be the strongest mortal in the universe by Planet Cereal's eternal dragon Torongo. Through this wish, Granola is able to easily handle Goku in every form he's in with clever tactics and targeting his vitals. Even when Vegeta tries to fight off against Granola, he gets clapped instantly while also getting gunned in the face like Danielson using an illegal crane kick. Goku and Vegeta obviously get stronger as the fight progresses, but it's still not enough to fully close the gap between Granola and Gas. While it's notable that Goku's strength is above Vegeta's in this arc, they both still have to place their hope and faith in Granola's final attack to defeat Gas. And it's not as if they only wanted Granola to do it. Goku and Vegeta use almost every tactic in their arsenal to try to find some type of leverage over Gas. I mean, Goku was literally teleporting this dude from planet to planet as if we were watching Meet the Robinsons. But even so, the strength that Granola accumulates in his final attack is too much for even someone like Gas to comprehend. It's worth noting though, Granola's wish came at the cost of reducing his lifespan to 3 years, so he's likely not alive anymore when we reach the end of Dragon Ball Z. So if you wanted to take him off this list because of this, I wouldn't blame you. But lastly, for the number 1 spot, the obvious choice is Frieza. I mean, there isn't really much to say about this, but I'll say it anyway. In the beginning of Resurrection F, Frieza says how he's never trained in his entire life because it was unnecessary. In other words, if he were to train, his potential could be limitless given the right amount of time. It's through this method that Frieza is able to gain access to Golden Frieza and later on Black Frieza. In the Granola arc, Frieza trains in a separate room of spirit and time for 10 years from a planet he recently conquered. Through that training, he gains a new black form and he's effortlessly able to one-shot both Goku and Vegeta in their strongest forms, and also one-shotting an even older and stronger version of Gas, who, as I stated earlier, made a wish to be the strongest mortal in the universe prior to Frieza's arrival. So regardless of what a lot of people want to believe about the rest of my list, I don't think there's any dispute that we can for sure say that Black Frieza belongs in the top spot. But let me know if you think I was accurate or completely flunked it in the comment section down below. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next video.